Sinai, Moses asked, who is on the Lord's side? And of course, the tribe of Levi went in his side, and those who were not were slaughtered. And so to stop the apostasy, otherwise it will create a um, epidemic like a leprosy and will cover the whole camp of Israel. So to stop it, it has to be they have to get rid of them. The same thing during before the flood. There was a separation between the righteous and the wicked, but not long they got contaminated too. Patriarchs and Prophets, page 81. The crime of murder which Cain had led the way, Lamech the fifth in descent added polygamy and boastfully defiant. He acknowledged God only to draw the avenging of Cain an assurance of his own safety. Okay. And Testimonies to the Church, volume 3, page 265. He would teach his people that disobedience and sin are exceedingly offensive to him and are not to be lightly regarded. He shows us that when the people are found in sin, they should at once take decided measure to put that sin from them, that his front may not rest upon them all. So we need to get rid. Otherwise, if the camp is not cleansed from sin, the whole camp will be contaminated. Okay, this is the land of Nod. This is the picture. That is where Cain fled, from the presence of God when he was when he rejected the offer of God. And CD, page 373, the first curse was pronounced upon the posterity of Adam and upon the earth because of disobedience. The second curse came upon the ground after Cain slew his brother Abel. And the third and most dreadful curse from God came upon the earth at the flood. There were three curses. Great Controversy, page 543. In sparing the life of Cain, the murderer, God gave the world an example of what would be the result of permitting sinner to continue the course of unbridled iniquity. Through the influence of Cain's teaching and example, the multitudes of his descendants were led to sin until the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. The earth was also corrupted before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5 and 11. Page 81. Upon receiving the curse of God, Cain had withdrawn from his father's household. He had first chosen his occupation as a tiller of the soil, and he now founded a city, calling it after the name of his eldest son. So the eldest son, right there, that's where he lived. And he lived in the city. Remember, God wants his followers, his people now to get out of the city, because city is just like Sodom and Gomorrah. And those who live in the city are not God's people. And those who, those who live in the city, or God's people live in the city, they need to be called out. Those who also who are in the corrupt religious organization, they need to be called out. Okay. Revelation 12:7-9. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angel and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and this angel was cast out with him. So the reason why Satan was cast out from heaven, because if they were allowed to continue there, the whole angelic host will be contaminated. So they were cast out. So there will be a time when all the sins and those who originate sin will be punished. The sin will no more come back in this world. Patriarchs and Prophets, page 42. The discord which its own course had caused in heaven, Satan charged upon the government of God. All evil he declared to be the result of the divine administration. He claimed that it was his own object to improve upon the statutes of Jehovah. Therefore, God permitted him to demonstrate the nature he claims to show the work out of his purpose and changes in the divine law. His own work must condemn him. Satan had claimed from the first that he was not in rebellion. The whole universe must see the deceiver unmasked. So here, the work of the deceiver, we have just learned that if it's allowed, that they will get more evil and evil because of uh, what happened in our history. Okay. Crisis in heaven. Great controversy, page 500. The same spirit that prompted rebellion in heaven still inspires rebellion on earth. Satan has continued with men the same policy which he pursued with the angels. His spirit now reigns in the children of disobedience. Like him, they seek to break down the restraints of the law of God and promise men liberty through transgression of its precept. Reproof of sin still arouses the spirit of hatred and resistance. When God's messages of warning are brought home to the conscience, Satan leads men to justify themselves and to seek the sympathy of others in their course of sin. Instead of correcting their errors, they excite indignation against the reprover as if they were the sole cause of difficulty. From the days of the righteous Abel to our own time, such is the spirit which has been displayed towards those who dare to condemn sin. So now, when you say, you're when we say the Isaiah 58 verse 1, cry aloud, spare not, lift up the voice like a trumpet, show my people their transgression, the house of Jacob the sin. People will just tell us, you are judging us. Review in Herald, March 3, 1874. Satan is the parent of unbelief, murmuring, and rebellion. He filled Cain with doubt and with madness against his innocent brother, against God, because his sacrifice was refused and Abel's accepted, and he slew his brother in this insane madness. Patriarchs and Prophets, page 78, 79. Satan is constantly at work with intense energy. Remember, Satan does not go to sleep, okay? He works 24/7. So do not think that, he gets tired. No, he's not. Energy under 1,000 disguises to represent the character and government of God. With extensive, well-organized plan and marvelous power, he is working to hold the inhabitants of the world under his deception. God, the Infinite One, all-wise, sees the end of the beginning, and in dealing with evil, his plan was far-reaching and comprehensive. It was his purpose not merely to put down the rebellion, but to demonstrate to all the universe the nature of rebellion. God's plan was unfolding, showing both his justice and his mercy, and fully vindicating his wisdom and righteousness in dealings with evil. The holy inhabitants of other worlds were watching with deepest interest the events taking place on earth and the condition of the world that exists before the flood. They saw illustrated the result of the administration which Satan had endeavored to establish in heaven, and rejecting the authority of Christ and casting aside the law of God. This ends our study. This is just half of it. Since it is a long study, we will